Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, could the Cabinet Secretary disclose the number and identities of all Kenyans currently working in the Gulf states? B, how many Kenyans have lost their lives while working in the Gulf states from the year 2022 to date? And C, Madam Chair, what support does the government provide to families of Kenyans who die while overseas? And could the Cabinet Secretary explain any actions being taken by the government to facilitate the repatriation of the body of MS Mildred Busolo Lisanza, deceased, from Saudi Arabia to Malinya village in Kakamega County? I thank you.
Prime Cabinet Secretary, it's your chance to answer to those questions.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, I was saying that there are thousands of Kenyans in the Gulf countries, and I will tabulate the data that we have. We have in total over 400,000 Kenyans in the Gulf states. And I'll tabulate as follows. In Saudi Arabia, the records we have are there are 310,266 Kenyans. In Qatar, 66,025. United Arab Emirates, 23,000. Bahrain, 8,000. Oman, 5,392, Kuwait, 3,515, Iran, 200, Iraq, 150. The total record we have as of to date is 416,548. The second question was to do with how many Kenyans have lost their lives working in the Gulf states from 2002 to date. The records we have show that the total number of Kenyans who have lost their lives in the Gulf region is 316. The breakdown is as follows: Saudi Arabia, 166, Qatar, 58, United Arab Emirates, 51, Iraq, 25, Bahrain, 10, Kuwait, 6, Oman, 0, Iran, 0. The total, 316. Aspect C of the question, the issue is what support does the government provide to families of Kenyans who die overseas? And could I provide details on Mildred? Madam Speaker, upon receiving a report on the death of a Kenyan abroad, the first step that our missions do is to notify the family of the demise of their loved one. The ministry does this by liaising with the employer, the foreign recruitment agent, if they're foreign-based, and the local recruitment agent based in Kenya to establish information about the deceased and next of kin. 2, the ministry also has a robust counseling department that offers psychological support to family members, including managing of the information, assessment, counseling, preparation for travel for a family representative or family member, and coordination with family members to receive the body of the deceased. The ministry also establishes the migration status of the deceased where possible, coordinates with the employer, the government agencies, diaspora groupings, other stakeholders and the family, while ensuring that the body of the deceased is well preserved ahead of repatriation back home. The ministry also follows up on the benefits and entitlements of the deceased person from their place of work in accordance with the applicable laws of the host country. Fifth, the mission facilitates obtaining of a post-mortem report to establish the cause of death and provides necessary documentation to facilitate the repatriation of the body back home.
Senator Boni Khalwale, you have an opportunity now to clarify any issues that you have through asking 2 questions.
Madam Speaker, I would want to ask 2 questions. One now, then give colleagues an opportunity to raise their issues. Then the second one at the end. The first one, Madam Speaker, it is the policy of the government, at least going by the pronouncements of the President on many occasions, that we try and assist as many youth as possible to get employment opportunities outside the country. Madam Speaker, is it not shocking that despite that policy, the Prime Cabinet Secretary is not able to tell the country the identities of the Kenyans working outside the country? Madam Speaker, that a whopping 316 of them have died while out of the country. It shows, Madam Speaker, that this answer will not only bolster the employers who in one way or the other contribute to the death of these people, but also it will discourage parents from yes, Speaker, I know where you're going.
Senator, you do not know where I'm going, Senator Boni, because I have not indicated.
Yes.
I want you to phrase your question. What you're giving now are views or debating the matter. You must phrase a clear, concise, precise question.
Yes, Madam Speaker, on a complex issue like this of death, I believe senators are allowed to build the question. I was building the question, and let me leave it there. Let me not build it any further.
We have 3 cabinet secretaries today coming to answer many questions of varied matters of national importance. I would beg that you make it precise and short and clear so that it's possible for the Prime Cabinet Secretary to respond.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, what I was building to is that could this Cabinet Secretary be compelled to table the list of all Kenyans working in these Gulf states so that the parents and relatives can be reassured that the government is on top of things as far as their lives are concerned?
Prime Cabinet Secretary, please respond.
It's gone again. Okay. Madam Speaker, I wish to state that we can, based on the records we have within the embassies, avail, because we are talking of about 400,000. In fact, to be precise, 416,058 individuals. We can work on having this brought to the Senate. I can only appeal on one issue, that as we give the identities, Madam Speaker, you'll also need to guide on aspects of whether we'll be breaching some aspects of the data identity issues by tabling all the 400,000. That's the only question. But we are prepared to be able to give this list.
Maybe to give a guide on that, Tabling of that data will be subject to the Data Protection Act. So the data may be tabled, but subject in compliance with the existing laws within those parameters, so that the individuals are equally protected as that evidence is being given. And then it will be subject to release or examination to the senator who is requesting for it, not for public display, without the consent of individuals who are working in the Gulf.